Okay, so let's make a hole first. Let's pick a color, make it a bit darker, turn pressure sensitivity off, and just click twice, like this. So this could be a hole, but not really. So pick a new color, turn pressure sensitivity on, make the color lighter, and in the bottom here, with a smaller brush, draw in a small arch, like this. Now, that looks like a hole, right? Okay, now how do we make something stick out? With the same light color, just drag an arch on top of this dot. You see that's sticking out now, right? So that's a nice trick. And we can use that, for example, to make some damaged parts on a brick. So let's start doing that. Let's first undo and go to this corner here. And then pick a color, pick the color of the crease. And let's say this part of the bricks is cracked. So let's first turn the radius sensitivity on. The strength as well. And 0.75 strength is correct. And let's start drawing. Draw sort of a triangle on this edge. I don't know if this is a triangle, but something like this. Maybe it's shaped like a face, I don't know. Anyway. And play with the pressure, it doesn't really matter which part is thicker or thinner. Thicker just means that those parts of the brick are more separated. Could use a little bit more black, so there you go. And then just make a crack here as well, for example. And here as well. Did you hear that? There's a crow on my balcony. Okay, now pick a light color. And same as we did with the holes in the beginning of this lecture. Make it lighter on the top part and darker on the bottom part. So let's first make it lighter. And where the lines are more vertically, you can paint on both sides. They just stick out a little bit more, that's okay. You see, like this. And also when you draw, make sure you have some gaps in the lines, because these bricks are pretty rough. So a straight line would make sense here. It's also making your drawing more open, so it's giving a little bit of expression to your drawing. When you just draw straight lines, that's something everyone can do, and when you choose, the way you choose, that's only something you can do. So that makes your painting your painting. So on top as well, you can draw on both sides of the crease. Because the light is not coming from a specific side, so just draw on both sides. So now let's pick the dark side. They have cookies. Make it dark, maybe a little bit lighter or something like this. Okay, let's paint it in. Maybe some light here. That's better. And this can be a little bit lighter as well. Some more darkness here, or even make the crease a little bit bigger. Okay. I think we can use some more darkness on this part. Let's do that. Okay. Even darker. A lot darker. And you can see the more contrast, the more depth. So the darker I make this, the deeper the crease seems. Especially if you put a lighter highlight next to it. Lighter highlight. Don't know if that's a good term, but you understand, right? Okay, that looks pretty good. Another thing is that the bricks are a little bit too square in my opinion. So I want to round off the edges a little bit. And let me do that so you know what I mean. So let's pick a lighter color, and these edges here and there, I want to have them a little bit more rounded off. So let's find a good position. Always do that. Always find a position where your hand is the most relaxed when drawing. Let's turn off pressure and let's turn on strength sensitivity and off the radius sensitivity. So the top as well. You can hardly see it, but still. Okay, now this tip here, if you make that a lot lighter, so let's zoom out a bit and just drag in this lighter value here. You can use a little bit more, a little bit lighter, smaller dot there as well. Do you see what happens here? It gives a very 3D look. So without adding any geometry, this corner here looks as if it has much more topology than it really has. Pretty nifty, right? Okay, let's leave it at this. We'll do more in the speed up. Let's go to the wood. So front view, side view, zoom in, and let's go to this part. Let's start with the wood structure. Wood structure. And don't be scared because wood looks pretty hard to do, but in fact it's really simple. So we'll do 1 or 2 planks and the rest in the speed up. So what you have to do is you pick a color again, of course, make it darker, and turn radius sensitivity on again, and draw in some lines. I make them thicker and thinner. And how you want to do that, that's on you again, where you want to have it thicker or thinner. That's your style. So let's make a knot on the second plank. So just make a circle here, or circle-esque thing, and draw around it. You see that already looks a bit like a knot. And let's make it a little bit darker. Let's draw in some more. You don't have to follow the lines you did first. Just a little bit, because these nerves do follow the same direction, of course. Now let's take a lighter color and do it again. Same principle. Maybe a little bit on the left and right of these darker parts, just to give some contrast and depth again. Something like this. You see it already looks a little bit like wood, right? There as well. So it already looks a lot like wood, but we can do better than this. What we can do is we can take the smear brush and make the strength a lot lower, 0.2 for example. Let's try that. Let's turn off radius sensitivity if needed, and then just drag over it a bit here as well. Turn the strength up a bit, just to see if it's better. You see it just smears it out a bit, it makes it a little bit blurred. Looks kind of faded. But that's good because we'll add another layer. That's the thing with wood, it has different layers. So next is making a new layer. Okay, let's pick the brush again, pick a color, make that darker, and let's add a new layer. Do the same thing you did before. Just draw in these lines, thick, thin. Radius sensitivity should be turned on again. You can draw on a totally different shape. At least a knot, you would want to leave that one in, but for the rest it doesn't really matter. Draw some nice shapes in there. Thick and thin. And then also the creases of the different planks, just make those a bit darker again because we faded those out a bit as well. And then next to those creases you can add some lighter colors as well. Let's first add them here. Do you see how much depth this gives? And okay, accentuate the knot. And just draw next to these lines we did before, and now some accents next to the creases of the planks. It'll make the planks pop again. Poppity pop. The magic word pop. Let's exaggerate the knot again. Make it darker on the sides of it. A little bit more. Okay. Something here. You can imagine I could go on for hours like this. You might not know, but I'm a very energetic person and I don't like yoga or stuff like that. And this is kind of my yoga. This is my Zen moment. Okay, that looks like wood to me, right? Let's have a look at the sketch. Let's see what I did here. Pretty much the same, of course. It's just a variety of lines. Blurring them out and doing them again. I also made it lighter near the edges just to make it pop more. Let's put it aside again. Now maybe you think the contrast is just a little bit too high. We can fix that by picking the color of the wood. Like so. And make it a little bit lighter. And just, with not too much pressure, draw a little bit of color in there again. Maybe you want an accent on the part of the knot. And then just draw a little bit less color in there. Let's add some more darkness to the knot and to the creases again. There you go. Another nice accent as well is adding small stripes on the planks. Something like this. You see that on oak wood, for example. And you can paint it also through the wood structure you made before. So just add it, paint over it. Okay, that's it for this lecture. In the next lecture I will explain a little bit about orbiting around, which helps you painting. That's it for now. Bye bye.